How can we be a witness to our feelings and analyze our thoughts and emotions, and at the same time be in the moment? I find myself sometimes observing my thoughts, my words, and my instincts, which leads me to understand myself better, but it removes me from being in the present. So there's two aspects. We speak sometimes about observing, understanding, contemplating, and we speak also about witnessing. And the question is really, how do we balance those? If I'm trying to see and analyze and understand, it takes me out of the present. So how do I balance that? We balance it by doing both of them at different times. It's like saying, you know, when I take a shower, it pulls me out of my sleep. How can I stay asleep and bathe at the same time? Well, you can't. Obviously, the shower is going to pull you out of sleep. It's very important to sleep. It's also very important to bathe. But you can't do them at the same time. In the same way, both of these aspects are very important to our spiritual practice, but they don't go together. So aspect one is the witnessing. And when I say aspect one, it could have also been two. It's not because it's more important or should come first or anything like that. Just aspect one is the witnessing. That's the non-judgmental, non-analytical, simply witness. That's, I'm meditating, I'm watching my breath, thoughts come, but I don't go with them. I also don't analyze them, I don't judge them. So a thought may come, maybe my stomach growls even. Maybe it's not even a thought, maybe it first begins as just a physical sensation. So the witnessing mind just notices and brings the awareness back to the breath. But the thinking mind says, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Haven't eaten anything in such a, since last night. I ate dinner way too early last night. I really shouldn't have eaten such an early dinner. Wonder what's for breakfast. The thinking mind starts doing that. The analytical mind comes in and says, God, even I read that article that says it's not good for your adrenal gland to go hungry for so long. Maybe I should change my meditation time. Or the even deeper analytic mind says, why am I thinking about food? Each of those is a very valid thing to think about. We have a body. If something in our schedule is not working with the physical health and stability of our body, well, that's an important thing to pay attention to. It's also important, if the same thoughts keep coming back in our meditation, to investigate, why is it? That's of course important to analyze, but not while we're witnessing. And here's why this is so important. Human beings are the only species that have the ability, or that we know of, that have the ability to be aware of their own consciousness. It's the only beings that actually have the ability to watch. So I can start to get angry, and the witness is watching the anger come. Now, if I don't have that ability, if I haven't cultivated the ability, if I haven't cultivated the ability to witness, then what happens is anger comes and I find myself screaming and shouting or hitting things. or drinking or using drugs, or repressing it, developing ulcers. Whatever my reaction to that anger is, I have become the anger. And this is why we say things like, I am angry. Well, we've just given it an identity. I am angry. I am depressed. What the witness gives us the habit of doing, first in our meditation and then in our life, is having a different place to sit. Most of us sit in the drama of this life. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm hungry, I'm sleepy, I'm excited, I'm nervous. That's where our consciousness sits. If I say to you, how are you right now? Where are you right now? Close your eyes and see what's it like in you right now. Most of us are going to give an answer that's smack in the middle of this drama. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. Arti was enthralling. I'm nervous. I'm worried about something, whatever it may be, but it's right in the middle of the drama. If we're able to sit instead of in smack in the middle of the drama, in the one who's simply witnessing. If you imagine an ocean and you're sitting on the cliffs above the ocean. So the ocean's going on, but there's two places you can be. You can either be in the ocean, being thrown around by the waves. Nothing wrong in that. It's not, again, that one is better or worse. But it's very important that we cultivate both abilities. So you can be in the ocean, or you can be sitting on the cliff top watching the ocean. And then slowly there's even another layer of witnessing, which is the one watching also the one sit on the cliff, watch the ocean. But that comes later. So we need to be able to witness. And while we're witnessing, we cannot analyze. Because absolutely, as the question asked, it takes us right out of witnessing. In that moment, we are just there. We're not judging, we're not analyzing, we're not naming, we're not following our thoughts. We're just aware of them. Like watching the waves go up and down. But, as I began with, analysis and understanding is also very important. It just has a different time and place. And so if you notice in your meditation that the same thoughts keep coming up all the time. I'm always hungry in my meditation. Well, there's two reasons. One might be because I'm going for too long without food and I'm sitting down and my stomach is growling and it's unawareness. Another may be a much deeper issue. If I find myself always hungry in my meditation when actually it's my evening meditation, only a couple of hours after dinner, rather than a late morning meditation 15 hours after I've eaten something, well then that becomes something worth thinking about. What's that inner emptiness? What is that hunger that arises when I close my eyes? What am I hungry for? What am I longing for? Or, why am I looking to run into food instead of sit in my meditation? What is it that's coming up for me that I would much rather numb with a bunch of bagels or cake or, whatever it is I'm interested in going to eat? Or if certain fears or desires or whatever it is that keeps coming up, this is worth analyzing, because that's the stuff then that's keeping us from fully connecting with the divine within ourselves. But the time for analysis is not meditation. So this is where we need, like we have a time to sleep and a time to bathe, recognizing that both are crucial, but not simultaneous. In the same way, we have a time in which we cultivate the ability to just be present. Here's the last piece of that. The analysis and the understanding takes place by the mind. And the being present takes place in the heart, in the spirit, soul, in the consciousness. And what the mind does is separate. The mind thinks about things. So I'm thinking about my fear that keeps coming up in meditation. But if I'm thinking about that, I've become separate from the one who's meditating. In meditation, the goal ultimately is union. Union with the divine, union with the universe, union with both the creator and the creation. And so if I relegate my meditation to my thinking mind, then I've lost the opportunity to connect with my heart. I've lost the opportunity to sit in consciousness, in awareness. So we have separate time for both.